Fellowship Vestige.
Spawning in the top left-hand position, hailing from Korea. One of the leading Zergs from Evil Geniuses, it is Jaedong!
And down in the bottom right side, narrowly making it to the finals. Give it up for Polt!
Now it already looks like Polt signaling that he's kind of intending on going for an extra barracks.
They're building up the hype for the first barracks.
Well, Jaedong may very well expand, which is what every Zerg tends to do.
It's true. Down it goes right there. And from what you've seen so far, Sean, what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, Polt's just going to be opening with kind of a typical Reaper style of play. There's been some big shifts in how Terrans are thinking about the matchup. I mean, certainly going for the 3 command center biomine tends to be the most popular one, but Terrans keep dying to that early game aggression, so we see players like Polt not going for the 3rd command center very often.
Yeah, and just playing a little bit safe here, going to be going ahead and walling himself in. And right now, the Dong's scouting out with his 1st and 2nd Overlord in pretty typical patterns right there. Spawning pool coming on up. And is there really anything Jaedong can do that is non-standard here?
I don't really think so. Crowd giving a cheer for our 3rd, 4th place player, Scarlet. Played fantastically this weekend. And Jaedong just going to check the front. I like this play, kind of boldly going all the way up here, because it's so rare to see a player get the barracks and build a Marine first. Ordinarily, it's just tech straight away, or expand straight away, or Reaper straight away.
Yeah, the Reaper is going to be spawning. Now, he does have guns, but for some reason refuses to shoot them at giant floating blimps, so he's not going to be able to shoot down that Overlord, and will instead most likely just go ahead and scout out, try and see exactly what the Zerg player is doing, maybe grab those watchtowers a little bit later. And that Overlord is actually safe to stay there a little bit longer. A 2nd Reaper going to be following it up.
Like this position, all Zergs love going for it, hiding at the backside, so that way, around the 6-7 minute mark-ish, hopping on into the main, seeing what the Terran player is up to. Is it going to be an attack, or is it going to be a passive 3 command center play? Jaedong's doing everything pretty much by the book. The gas is slightly later than you could get it, but is still fairly conservative timing nonetheless.
2nd Reaper popping out now, and a factory drops on the back of this. And just 2 Zerglings going to be going ahead and scouting out. The Reapers have basically seen everything. The other Reaper there are going to be defending the expansion. So far, though, looking pretty standard here, because you just got to protect the SCV from the 2 Lings, but you also have to get some scouting in. So pretty standard.
I mean, Jaedong has been in this situation countless many times up on the main stage. All the Star League wins he's garnered, all the Pro League championships he's been part of. I mean, he is a seasoned veteran of being in these high-pressure situations. But Polt is just, I think, the strongest-looking Terran we have seen at this entire tournament.
And also Polt not having to travel as far for this event, that does play a big role, although Jaedong, of course, no amateur when it comes to dealing with jet lag, things like that. Reaper up here at the natural, going to be trying to duke it out with that Queen. Wants to make sure to keep those Reapers alive, because guess what? There's 2 watchtowers, so if nothing else, you can always throw those Reapers in there. Bunker going to be going down at the natural here.
This is interesting. I mean, Polt was saving up enough money. It looked like it was going to be a command center, but no, it's going to be a starport right away. So some drops are on the docket for Polt. Probably not going to be doing Hellbat drops, as Hellbats are just merely good instead of completely and totally, utterly broken.
Yeah, they did change those very recently. And looks like for now it is going to be Hellions. We did see some double Hellion, double Widowmine drop earlier in the tournament, but for now it does look like additional Hellions are going to be on the way. That Overlord going to try and find his safe little spot. Should be okay down there. That Marine is still going to be going to town. But right now, I mean, Polt has just gone for lots of very fast units. So he has good map control and can see when this 3rd goes down.
Interesting. Going straight for the Viking. You know, this is a really common move that we see Zerg players are doing. I mean, if you look at the Overlord spread, Jaedong is essentially going to poach in this wide region, trying to see absolutely everything he can with those Overlords, which of course would be these Hellions. But if you get the Viking out early and suddenly the Zerg player has just sent out a whole bunch of his Overlords for sacrifice.
And you also have to remember that it hurts the scouting capabilities. If you want to scout between the 7 to 8 minute mark if possible, with the Viking maybe preventing that. A couple Lings actually getting deep into the base here. Doesn't see any hidden tech back here. You would have loved to see an armory or something like that. But for now, the Overlord going to get taken out by that first Viking. We'll see if any of the other Overlords return. There are still 4 vulnerable Overlords, though.
Yeah, I mean, 1, 2, 3, and of course 4 at the far left side, so I mean, this seemingly benign little Viking can do some serious work. There's the double Widow Mine coming up. No doubt we'll see a Medevac shortly following that. Polt is continuing to apply pressure, trying to prevent this creep adjoin. Jaedong right now is going for a very slow macro tech up. We see Zergling emphasis, tremendous on this map, really avoiding getting a lot of Spire. Whoa! Oh my god, Polt's actually going to dart into the main!
Yeah, usually it's Zerg. He's lining him up, Sean. Got to be careful here. Does manage to escape for it now. And the Lings there are going to get a nice surround to at least force them inside the main base, but waits inside as more drones. Look like the Lings, though, actually going to be able to clean this up, and Jaedong has held this off.
What a play from Jaedong. Knocking that out. 13 drones to follow. The total damage, a merely 5. Oh my gosh, a disaster for Polt at this stage in the game. That Viking is really going to be the single lone saving grace for Polt in this juncture right now. Polt taking up, getting the extra stim, has to produce extra mines, has to deal damage with these drops. More vulnerable overlords over at the right side. That Viking will be spotting them soon.
Yeah, I just want to say that Viking, if he stays the course, he is going to intercept all 3 of those overlords just based on the pathing he has set up for that. But right now the Lings got to try and counterattack, but Polt has already established that no, you cannot run into the space. Lots of production facilities being thrown on down, and the Viking right there.
For contrast, I mean, if one of these Widow Mine connects, it will do almost as much damage as the entire previous run-by. Polt is in a very bad spot right now. Not only did he not deal damage, but he has sacrificed all of his map control. More connections with this Viking brings it up to a total kill count of 3, but I mean, these Widow Mines are not doing much.
Yeah, the Viking going to be finding another Overlord as well, so good job there. And the Widow Mine's not getting big detonations. Any of those kills were actually just Zerglings there, so no big deal there. But I got to say, Jaedong having a shockingly low amount of map vision for a Zerg player at this stage.
Yeah. Looks like there will be one more hit. Oh, just a single drone. Jaedong's going to put a building right next to the mine, and everything will be well and good in the world.
Yeah, and you'll actually see a lot of Zerg players do this, building spores to deal with the Widow Mines, because, of course, you can move the spores around. Oh, the Overseer, Overlord was morphing to an Overseer to save himself, but that did get canceled. There's going to be a minor attack over here on the top right side for Marauders.
Play, yeah.
And kills off the Queen there, gets out relatively unscathed. So Polt realizing you have got to be aggressive against Jaedong, because he will get way, way ahead if you don't kind of slow him down.
Yeah, I mean, 4 Widow Mines already out. Not the fastest 1-1 upgrade. It's Polt's most notable attribute in all matchups. Delay on the upgrades. He is not someone who favors getting them very quickly at all. Baneling Nest coming up. Macro hatch quite late. Often we see players with 4 or 5 hatcheries by the 11-minute mark, but, you know, this is the sort of effect that we've been seeing out of Polt. He's maybe not done enough direct damage, but he sort of indirectly delayed things. And Polt securing his 3rd as well.
This is where Jaedong is going to start saving up his gas. The Spire nearly completed here. He's also got Baneling Speed, a relatively common unit composition. At the same time, though, we are going to be seeing the drop once again. This time, it's still going to be those same Marauders. Looks like they take a lot of damage, have to get out of there without doing any substantial damage there. But at least Polt has the right idea. Jaedong, for being Jaedong, is playing relatively passive overall.
Yeah, I mean, Jaedong, known as one of the biggest attacking Zergs ever, doing some really passive moves. There's the Pneumatized Carapace, the Overlord speed upgrade. Oh, a nice
timing there. Does he actually kill it off? Jaedong does not get it canceled there. And Sean, we've seen this several times in the tournament. I can think of at least 3 where he did not cancel those in time. That is a big loss there for Jaedong.
Creep spread is quite good. Not amazing, but of course can't be amazing with the amount of aggression we've been seeing. Polt playing very defensive and set up. 1-1 only just now finishing up. 5 barracks, churning out those barracks units as well. So in this spot, Polt is just buying time before he gets up a nice army to be able to make a considerable push. But almost always Mutalisks are going to be used for defense. We don't get to see a lot of offensive Mutalisks in this matchup, but Jaedong's really starting to accelerate the pace of things.
Hero Viking finally got to go down, and buying time indeed, Sean. Look at how many bunkers Polt actually has there. Normally you'll see a player sacrifice those in lieu of getting just more attacking units, but definitely going to be playing it safe. 1 Marine over on the left side trying to be a superhero scout. Even going to be throwing down the sensor tower. You can see both players are a little bit timid here on if they can actually find a good angle to attack or not.
Yeah, I mean, mine's trying to get up, getting picked off. Polt is the one who's kind of low on vision, does have this key watchtower at the south end. Will begin push number 1. Jaedong splitting up some Banelings.
Oh, good control there for Polt. Yes, he took some hits, but those were hits he wanted to take with the Marauders in front. Big scan coming up. Going to be pushing deep into Jaedong territory right now and pushing towards that potential 4th, which we mentioned was delayed. A Zergling counterattack, though. Is there any defense here?
Oh, there's
not,
one
mine. How did they get there unscathed?
No.
And there he goes right into the mineral line. They're going to run to the mine. The Zergling's not going to fall for it, though. And they're just going to chill out there. got some sightseeing going
Polt
on.
scanning, not one aim to try to pick these off. Oh, big connection with the mines. The Baneling numbers plummet. And of course, down in the bottom left, these Lings are being quite a nuisance. It looks like Jaedong's Mutalisk not enough. Considerable number of mines, drilling claws getting researched. The barracks count is not too high right now. Only just recently finished those 8 barracks, but Jaedong is going to eliminate this forward force from Polt.
These Widow Mines not able to do nearly enough damage, able to hold off here. Although careful there, Jaedong. Don't want to overextend your Mutalisk as he does run them in. Here come more Banelings on, more Lings. Does Polt decide to full on retreat. He burrows the Widow Mines right away. Could get some big hits, and he does. Takes out several Banelings and Lings with those. That's going to slow down the push here from Jaedong. Remember, Jaedong is a little bit behind the supply. Here's more reinforcements.
Oh, that Baneling at the backside needs to get picked off there. It finally gets picked off, but in the meantime, we're seeing that Jaedong has established his fourth. No gas being mined out of it yet. 2-2 almost done for both players. Infestation Pit en route. Not really going to be able to make use of that right now. It's just going to be to get the Hive to begin getting late game upgrades. But right now, Jaedong is in pure Ling Baneling defense. Going to try to make some magic happen with these Zerglings.
Potential counterattack once again down in the bottom left side. And Biomine, always a good unit composition here in the late game if it is controlled correctly. Oh, we actually do have some burrowed Banelings here. Did Polt catch a glimpse of it? It looks like he at least retreated there. But that one, Baneling is in a perfect spot to detonate. There's going to be that counterattack in the bottom left side. Non-stop action here so far.
I mean, this is exactly what this matchup is about at the highest level. Players manipulating the battlefield into their favor. We see these counterattacks. It doesn't look like a particularly large force, but it is dealing massive damage to the single. Burrow Baneling does get picked off.
He did see that one, Burrow. Good pickup there by Polt, making sure not to lose to something silly like a Baneling landmine. He's going to be sending in more reinforcements right now. Going to be pushing this fourth base. Jaedong needs to hold on to this. He's got more reinforcements on the way. A big Baneling hit right there. He's got to go ahead and try and break it. He does with another huge hit there. That is exactly what Jaedong needed in order to safely hold that off. But guess what? There's this thing called Macro Sean. There's the reinforcements.
Macro Polt has it. Spamming the A button, spamming the mine button, getting as much forces to the front lines as possible. Medevacs also being produced in large numbers, but no drops yet. It's just attack at the front, non-stop aggression. Jaedong's controlling this reasonably well, but the mine placement is a little too strong. The Mutalisk count is what Polt is trying to cut down. That is what will push the mines back down to only 10 Medevacs on the full retreat.
The Widow Mines there, good positioning, but not nearly enough of Lings there do get taken out, and here's more and more reinforcements. Keep in mind, a Terran on 3 bases is quite scary for the next couple minutes here. He will eventually have to try and take a fourth here, but this is why the pressure is non-stop, and he knows, Polt knows he has to kill off this fourth base, and Jaedong knows it is crucial he hangs on to it.
I mean, Jaedong knows exactly where the weak point is down at the south side. Polt's aggression has been abated for now, but these...
Oh, Baneling's down the bottom left side, well, I thought that was going to be a lot cooler than it was, Sean.
Well, I mean, Polt did manage to deflect that, but it's this frontal assault that Polt is starting to lose ground in. The Banelings do, fall from that Widow Mine, but what gain are we really seeing out of it? I mean, at this point, Polt has never stopped moving really past this shrubbery. He's holding strong. Jaedong's on the complete defensive. A fourth base going down. This is what makes Polt such an exceptional late-game player, his ability to continue to expand. But with the Hive done, 3-3 en route for Jaedong. A very tense game one.
Very, very awesome game one as well. More Lings getting cleaned up here in the middle. Overall, in the units lost, you can see that Polt is ahead in that regard. Oh, wow. Gotta watch out for those Banelings. And again, the Mutalisk count has not been substantially whittled down, currently sitting at 15. But at the same time, the Planetary is up over at that fourth base. So, going to be tied in the amount of bases, which tends to favor Terran. Gotta be careful.
Oh, what the... A single wrong move from Polt could spell disaster, but there's not quite enough forces here.
If he tries to retreat with all of them, though, he actually is just sacrificing them for now, which isn't that bad of a choice here, to be honest, as long as he's going for an even exchange right now. The Marines might get hit by the Baneling landmines, decides not...
Gets picked off by the incidental mine shot. Right now, Polt is playing amazingly. Jaedong's plummeted down to 123 supply. Polt never misses a beat with his macro back home. Fourth base secured. Jaedong swinging in. Jaedong must eliminate this force.
He knows it. That's why he's throwing the Mutalisk directly at it. I don't think it's enough. Those Marines are not dying. The Mutalisk are falling, and yes, it got cleaned up, but look at those supplies right now. The reinforcements are nonstop from Polt, and it is freshly fueled by that fourth base. Polt got to be marching in. Is this attack that kills Jaedong? I don't know, but it's got to be putting a lot of pressure on this fourth base, and that's exactly exactly what he needs to do. More and more mutas on
he
the
abandons
way.
it. He abandons it. This is a complete and total sacrifice for Jaedong right now. He's looking for more vulnerabilities in the main base. Is there some angle he can exploit? He needs to justify the sack on this Expo. Polt's macro is too good. Jaedong never seems to be able to get a breather. Polt now building a 5th command center, getting ready to take a 5th base. Jaedong's mutas get intercepted.
There we go, GG!